Good morning and welcome to our main course for God Hour for Tuesday, September 23rd. Doing Matthew 22. And before we jump into yesterday, though I had to post it late due to work requirements, there's a little bit, I was reflecting on it later, about the stone that the builder refused. I talked about that, but later on, right there at the end, it mentioned, and whosoever shall fall on this stone shall be broken, but on whomsoever it shall fall, it will grind him to powder. There's a distinction there. If you fall onto this, it will break you. But if the stone were to fall onto you, it will grind you to powder. Now, this is Jesus talking to the Pharisees. In any case, just want to throw that in. But today is Matthew 22, which is captioned "The Wedding Garment." In verse 1, and Jesus answered and spake unto them again by parables, and said, The kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son, and sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come. Again he sent forth other servants, saying, Tell them which are bidden, Behold, I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and my fatlings are killed, and all things are ready. Come unto the marriage. But they made light of it, and went their ways, one to his farm, another to his merchandise. And the remnant took his servants, and entreated them spitefully, and slew them. But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth. And he sent forth his armies, and destroyed these murderers, and burned up their city. Then saith he to his servants, The wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage. So those servants went out into the highways, and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good, and the wedding was furnished with guests. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. And he saith unto him, Friend, how camest thou in hither not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Then said the king to the servants, Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are called, but few are chosen. Now there's a lot to unpack there. And I'm not a preacher. Don't ever get that impression. All I'm doing is reading, discussing out loud, and processing, and allowing the Holy Spirit to help me make sense of it. But the parable, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king. This is a hypothetical king. It's a parable, which made a marriage for his son. But we can see that the king, the real king that the parable is making parable of, is God, kingdom of heaven, and made a marriage for his son, Jesus. and sent forth to his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come. And that's looking at my thoughts. It's sending forth people like me, servants, Christians, to call people to the wedding. But as you may well know, it's this day and age, certainly, you get a lot of pushback when you're trying to invite people to Christianity, to heaven. And then again, he sent forth other servants. Tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner, and so on. Persuading, letting them know, hey, there's going to be food, you're going to have a good time. Everything is ready for you. Come to the marriage. By verse 5, but they made light of it, as people make light of God and go their own ways, whether it be to their farm or to their merchandise, to their possessions. And the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully and slew them. And we see a lot of that. People that are persecuted for their beliefs. I don't like to get political on God hour, but we can certainly think of someone who was recently a servant of God and treated spitefully and slain. When the king heard thereof, he was wroth. God, wroth. And he sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burned up their city. Now, please don't take this parable and me and what I'm saying to be what needs to be literally done. We're not going to go that route. We're going to be peaceful, forgiving Christians. But as such, that doesn't mean that we can be passive to evil and sin. We have to. Spiritual warfare has been and is going on for a long time. I mean, since the beginning. There are ways to fight it without violence. It's like you can't fight sin by using sin. You combat it with goodness, with kindness, but you don't just roll over. You have to remain tough. In any case, as verse 14 said, for many are called, but few are chosen. Now, the last little part of that parable is about the wedding garment. He saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. And the king said to his servants, bind him and take him away and cast him into outer darkness. Basically, somebody infiltrated or tried to infiltrate the wedding. Now, what is the marriage and the wedding talking about? Perhaps you don't know, but perhaps you've heard that the Catholic nuns wear wedding rings, even though they're not married. They're supposed to be chaste, and they wear very modest clothing and so on, but they are married to Jesus in a way, or to the church, as Jesus is married to the church. So I'm taking on this that the church is the wedding. Jesus is the groom, the wedding, or the marriage to the church would be the wife. Everybody's invited because there's going to be partying, food and drinking and celebration and dancing and having good times, and everybody is welcome to attend, even strangers on the street there. But they're given a wedding garment. You have to present yourself to the wedding properly, or maybe let's even look at it like if you've been to a bar, they stamp your wrist with a thing that says that, you paid your head charge or whatever. But this one person at the wedding didn't have the wedding garment or the hand stamp or whatever. And he was immediately thrown out and cast into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Interpret on your own interpretation, and please provide me with your feedback. But anyway, moving along. Tribute to Caesar is the caption in this next portion, verse 15. Then went the Pharisees and took counsel how they might entangle him in his talk. And they sent out unto him their disciples with the Herodians. Now, that would be King Herod's people, Herodians, saying, Master, we know that thou art true, and teachest the way of God in truth, neither carest thou for any man, for thou regardest not the person of men. Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? But Jesus perceived their wickedness and said, Why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Show me the tribute money. And they brought unto him a penny. And he saith unto them, Whose is this image and superscription? And they say unto him, Caesar. And then saith he unto them, Render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's. And when they heard these words, they marveled, and left him, and went their way. Love that. It's just blows me away the way Jesus can take all these traps and snares and perceive them and manipulate them right back at them. Forgive me, it's just marvelous in my opinion. Next caption is silencing the Sadducees. I can't define that term other than it's people of Sadducee. I mean, whatever this country, place, or person Sadducees is again, I am not some grand master of Christianity or whatever. Verse 23. The same day came to him the Sadducees, which say that there is no resurrection, and asked him, saying, Master, Moses said, if a man die having no children, his brother shall marry his wife, and raise up seed unto his brother. Now there were with us 7 brethren, and the first, when he had married a wife, deceased, and having no issue, left his wife unto his brother. Likewise the second also, and the third, unto the 7th. And last of all the women died also. Therefore in the resurrection, whose wife shall she be of the 7? For they all had her. Jesus answered and said unto them, Ye do err, not knowing the Scriptures, nor the power of God. For in the resurrection they neither marry, nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of God in heaven. But as touching the resurrection of the dead, have ye not read that which was spoken unto you by God, saying, I am the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. God is not the God of the dead, but of the living. And when the multitude heard this, they were astonished at his doctrine. Yeah, it is astonishing. That in heaven, marriage is not, by what I'm saying, the second lot, the resurrection into heaven. The marriage is not going to be as it is on earth. There's no need for it there. There's no need for consummation and so on. Anyway, moving on to reproving the Pharisees. Reproving is a tricky word because proving means making evident that it's true, and as a prefix means doing it again. But reproving can also mean proving false, unproving in a way. But anyway, verse 34. But when the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? And Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these 2 commandments hang all the law and the prophets. And it does. I mean, you think of the later commandments, the ones that we do know about and respect as a society, that we shouldn't kill, steal, and in society used to not really covet thy neighbor's wife or commit adultery, but that's become very prevalent. But we're not going to get into that. But the idea is you should treat each other with love, just as you did with the first commandment, is to love the Lord. Now, it's very hard to command somebody to love something. Love isn't something that you can do without. I mean, just because someone told you to do it. If someone were to tell me to love seafood, it's just not going to happen. Unless I happen to find some seafood that I do love, but in my experience, I don't like it. But my experience with God has earned my love. No, I don't mean to blaspheme. God doesn't need to earn anything from me. I'm looking to earn from God. But He has been merciful and kind to me, despite the hardships. He's been there for me. Anyway, I digress. Verse 41, and while the Pharisees were gathered together, Jesus asked them, saying, What think ye of Christ? Whose son is he? And they say unto him, the son of David. He saith unto them, How then doth David in spirit call him Lord, saying, The Lord said unto my Lord, Sit thou on my right hand, till I make thine enemies thy footstool. If David then call him Lord, how is he his son? And no man was able to answer him a word, neither durst any man from that day forth ask him any more questions. So Jesus satisfied them with their questions. Now, Jesus is asking them very, respectfully, so what do you think about Christ? Who do you think his father is? And they say, the son of David. And then how then doth David in spirit call him Lord, saying, The Lord said unto my Lord. Like, if David, as Jesus actually said in 45, if David calls him Lord, how is he his son? It doesn't work. It's not the way you talk to your father. You don't call your father Lord. He's your actual father. We call our Father Lord because he is not we're not his begotten children, but we are his servants and his vassals, and he is Lord over us. But we can call him Father as well, just not in the same way Jesus called him Father. It's a lot more literal. Well, I should say a lot less literal with us, more literal with Jesus. More doesn't need to be qualified in that sentence. Anyway, that concludes Matthew 22. If you don't know, if you haven't experienced the Bible, we've got some really pretty rough stuff coming up. I mean, 23 is going to be the Great Denunciation. I'm not going to, that's as much spoilers I'm going to give. But thank you all. You have a great day. And I'm going to do the same, I believe. Be seeing you soon. Until we get through Matthew and then figure out where we're going from there. Oh, and we have exceeded our 50 subscribers. So I am working on putting this into the live format that I've been wanting to. So we'll see how that goes. There's a lot of legwork involved in it, but no problem with that. God bless you all. Have a great day.